Hey everybody, Dr. Green here. I know there's been some confusion around getting things set up and working with your Docker-based clusters for Hadoop. And I know I've done a lot of demonstration videos on the Mac, so I wanted to show you some insights on Windows and just exactly how that all works. So first off, I'm assuming that you all have your repository cloned. You will see here, I'm just using a command that tells me where my repository comes from. GitLab.com, right? So the Docker Hadoop files. One thing you may want to do at this point is to make sure you have updated files. To do that, you can say Docker pull. Okay, that's great. That will pull it. You'll see it's already up to date, all that kind of stuff. That's fantastic. If it gives you some kind of error, one of the quickest things you can do is say Docker stash. And what that does is it sort of saves your changes over to the side. If you do that, you may lose some of your changes. But that may be okay with you. If not, you can also run this command, docker commit -am, add a message here. And what that will do is it will take a quick snapshot of what you've done and save it, and then just add the updates on top of that. So you will see I have this here, and I've gone ahead and opened it in VS Code as well. A couple small changes that we did make over the course of this class is we added these two lines here for single node action to make sure everything's working well. HDFS conf DFS replication equals 1. And the same thing for block write and replace data node on failure. We're setting that to false. The other thing I'd like to show you is just about mounting volumes. So you'll see I have my example here, my own example from when I did this on the Mac. To do this on Windows, it's very, very similar. So you'll see if I go to my folders, I have desktop, I have this test folder. Now you see it.txt. So what I'm going to do is I am just putting that full path there. If you're not sure how to get the path, you can just go here and go to properties. And you will see it right here, C:\users /Robert /desktop. And then I'm actually using the test directory, so I'm going to tag test onto the end there. One caution here, be careful not to have spaces in here. If you do have spaces, you do have to surround this in quotation marks to make sure that you get it working properly. Spaces in general may cause some problems. For those of you that want to be other cautious, you can also use a double / I believe. So we're going to go ahead and keep this here. You'll see I'm in PowerShell. I have opened this PowerShell as an administrator to ensure that I have all the rights that I need. And I'm in my directory with my Docker Compose and all these files. So how do I start my cluster? You use this command, docker compose up. Now you'll see if I just type in docker compose up, I'm going to see a lot of text scrolling across my screen. Let me be clear, this text will never end. This is showing status messages and log messages and everything from the containers. So if I do this while my cluster is running, this will keep going. That means if I want to do any work from the terminal or from PowerShell, I have to open a new one. If I don't want to deal with this, I can stop it, right? I pressed Control-C. You'll see it killed everything. I'm going to clear my screen. What I can type is docker compose up -d. -d means daemon mode, which means run it in the background. And you'll see very quickly it'll just start the servers, or start the various servers in the cluster, and we're back at the command prompt and we can do what we want. The quickest way to make sure this is running, you can go ahead and open Docker desktop right here if you want to. And as soon as that pops up, we'll show the dashboard. Right here, you'll see it actually shows you that this is running. You can open it in Visual Studio Code. It shows you the status of all these, and you can do some different things here, right? So I could click on CLI, and you'll see it'll actually put me directly into the name node. This is a really quick way to see what's going on. I'm going to switch to the bash shell because it's easier for me. I'm going to use the ls command, and you'll see we have the workspace directory. So I'm going to type in workspace. Note that I never actually created the workspace directory. What I did do was in here, I said, hey Docker, create a directory called workspace, starting at the root, and share whatever in this folder with that. Okay, so these folders are actually working together right now. They are completely synchronized. In fact, they are the same folder. So you'll see I can go back here. This, I see that now you see it text. I can just close this if I'm done. Now you'll notice I did this from here, okay? So I went into my name node and I said CLI. It brings me to the command line interface. The other way you can do this, you can go to PowerShell, just like I'd shown you all before, docker exec -it, name node bash. That means docker execute in an interactive way the container with name node, but the command I want you to execute is bash. Bash means start the bash shell. So when I enter this, it brings me right here. You'll see I'm in the same place. I can change to workspace, all this kind. Okay. Now, if you're having any trouble running commands from the command line, please understand that this is a Debian-based Linux distribution. So you can look up any commands like that. It's just like running it from the terminal. Okay. So I hope this helps you all. I hope it gives you a little bit better understanding of what's going on and gives you a little demonstration of how Docker Compose would work on Windows.